I'm 19 years old, married, no degree, no 9 to 5, and I'm exactly where I want to be. Yes, I got engaged at 18, married at 19, I didn't go to college, I don't plan to, I don't have a degree, I don't have a job, and I'm not getting one. I love to cook for my husband, I love to host, I love to run our home. I get asked about this a lot, but me and my husband dated for 6 weeks before getting engaged. Also, yes, me and my husband do have an age gap. He is 10 years older than me.
I married a provider at 18 years old. I genuinely am living the life that I dreamed of, and I cannot be more thankful. It's the man's job to provide. It's your husband's job to pick up 1, pick up 2, pick up 3 jobs if he needs to. He's the provider, that's his role.
Unlike popular beliefs by most people, I actually don't disagree with the clips of the women expressing themselves on camera about the relationship dynamics that they have with their husbands. Hello guys, this is Joseph with Joseph Teaches Power Dynamics. The biggest thing that I like to do is watch videos and also give commentary and break down on relationship dynamics as well as group dynamics between individuals. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down a video from, I believe, Ashley Viola. Is teenagers are becoming TRAD wives and it's scary. Okay, so as I go through the video, I'm going to break down the power dynamics play that I've noticed within the videos, as well as the power dynamics that I've noticed within the individuals that she's reacting to, and also her point of view. This is just from observation, right? These are not necessarily 100% set in stones. Relationship dynamics do change over time, but this is just from observation. If you like my breakdown and my commentary, definitely like, share, comment, subscribe. And I hope that you learn something and also be able to interact with this and have fun with me. Let's go into it. Let's get into the video.
Financially dependent on her husband, and she's staring directly into the camera to tell the rest of us that she's exactly where she wants to be.
Here's my morning as a 19-year-old wife.
I am 19 years old. I got married a week after I turned 18. I had my baby on my 19th birthday. I'm 19 years old, married, no degree, no 9 to 5, and I'm exactly where I want to be. Yes, I got engaged at 18, married at 19, I didn't go to college, I don't plan to, I don't have a degree, I don't have a job, and I'm not getting one. I love to cook for my husband, I love to host, I love to run our home. I get asked about this a lot, but me and my husband dated for 6 weeks before getting engaged. Also, yes, me and my husband do have an age gap. He is 10 years older than me.
I married a provider at 18 years old. I genuinely am living the life that I dreamed of, and I cannot be more thankful. It's the man's job to provide. It's your husband's job to pick up 1, pick up 2, pick up 3 jobs if he needs to. He's the provider, that's his role. I love that I get to cook and clean and make our house cozy and welcoming and host people and do crafts, all the things. While my husband works hard to provide for our family. It's just the best.
Every time one of these videos appears, I have the same question. Are you telling us, or are you trying to convince yourself?
Unlike popular beliefs by most people, I actually don't disagree with the clips of the women expressing themselves on camera about the relationship dynamics that they have with their husbands. Based on what I am seeing, although these women are 19 years old, 17 years old, very young women, I am still seeing a relationship dynamics where these women are still exhibiting some control traits and some cooperative traits. One of the things I want to highlight that was mentioned in one of the women's videos is the age gap. You see, in a lot of cases, when men are significantly older than the women that they are with, there is a tendency to want to tolerate certain things that she may be doing that, might be seen as childish. Although people would view these men as controlling, view these men as the most dominating, excuse me, I can barely even talk. Although people would see these men as the most domineering in their relationship, a lot of times these men are not really dominating these relationships. a lot of times it's either cooperation or she's allowed to do most of what she wants, and he's just working. Now, I will say this though, in the context of working, the men are the dominant in that aspect of the relationship. But in terms of the relationship as a whole, I believe the women are really controlling it, because a lot of cases, though the men are the ones marrying these women, a lot of these women are doing most of the relationship. How do I know this? They're talking. When women are constantly talking and talking in that relationship, especially about the relationship, to everybody else, it kind of seems as though there's a domination thing that's happening away from the man. Now, I will say this. A few of those women that I did see, I could tell that they are not dominant in their relationships when they're in the relationship. They're only dominant when it comes to talking about the relationship. But in terms of the actual relationship, I see more of a cooperation with these women than them being dominated by the man. So although it may seem as though the man is dominating them, I believe the relationship dynamics that these young women have with these men are more of a cooperation, or where they themselves were still dominating the relationship because the man is allowing her to be herself wholeheartedly, and he's not really controlling her as much. Though we think he's controlling her, I believe these women are controlling themselves, because here's what's going to happen. In the near future, things are going to keep changing and changing, and the women are going to become more and more dominant as they get older. And because the men are getting older themselves, they're going to get to a point where it's going to be an older, submissive husband with a younger, confident, dominant wife. Because as she gets older, her confidence is going to grow. And as the man starts to age, his confidence will go down. So, and also looking at the settings, a lot of these women look like they have regular lives. If the man had mansions, if the man had great wealth, a lot of these women would not dominate him, even if he is old, because he would see them as replaceable. But because these men have regular houses and regular lives, I believe it's either cooperation in their relationship dynamics, or it is a situation where the woman is still dominating the man, but the man is willing to let them do that because they're young and very attractive. But now, in terms of Viola, she seems, based on what she is about to say, if I'm going to go ahead and predict what I think she's going to say. I think she's going to see these women as needing help. I think she's going to see these women as kind of like being dominated, but let's see how it goes.
Because I don't know about you, but I feel like someone who's content with their private life, with their personal life, someone who's content with their marriage, doesn't have to turn it into an entire PR campaign. If your job is to stay in the kitchen, then by all means, stay in the kitchen. Put the phone down. But they can't. They can't put the phone down. They can't put the camera down. You want money and an identity outside of the home. Otherwise, you wouldn't be trying to be an influencer. Let's discuss the teenage TRAD wife epidemic and what these young women really have.
By the way, I love her intro. Her intro is, yeah, I like her intro.
I'm a 19-year-old stay-at-home girlfriend. It's recently shared that I'm an 18-year-old stay-at-home wife, and some people loved it, and some people had very strong opinions against it.
It's 6 in the morning, my husband and my daughter are still asleep. Let's make them breakfast.
When I was 18 or 19, I wanted tattoos that would have aged like milk. There were musicians that I loved back then that I can barely listen to now, if at all. I cringe at some of my fashion choices at 18. I cringe at my hair choices. And yet these women are making permanent, life-changing decisions like getting married and bringing a child into the world at 18, 19 years old. Some of them even younger at 16 years old. She's a wife and she's 16 years old and she has a 10-month-old and she's 34 weeks pregnant. Now, 18, 19-year-olds are not mindless. They're not incapable of making decisions. The popular claim that our brains aren't fully developed until we're like 25 is an oversimplification. Human maturity, that comes from emotional regulation. That comes from your judgment over a longer span of time. As your prefrontal cortex, which helps with emotions, self-control, and decision-making, keeps developing well into your mid-20s. All of these things developed through experience. You develop these things through navigating relationships. When you succeed, when you fail, when you are exposed to alternatives throughout your lifetime, and that takes years and years. Cognitive capacity might be present, but your life experience that's required for you to evaluate life-changing decisions, permanent decisions, is still extraordinarily limited at the age of 18, 19.
All right, I'm going to stop. All right, so I'm just going to say this. I appreciate her point of view and her opinion, and I could tell that she's expressing from the standpoint of maturity, and I understand that. Now, in terms of the dynamics that she's discussing about how these women are rushing into these relationships, she's kind of highlighting certain things that makes me believe that these women are more dominant in their relationships than they are letting themselves be. So I see it like this. She did make some point about the women should kind of keep it private. I believe if these women were more submissive in their relationships, they're not going to want to have some big control and put a bunch of control information out there. They're going to be more in the context of supporting what he's doing and really doing whatever they can to help him out. I would say this because I don't quite know the men that these men are with, and the fact that these men are not on camera. I'm going to say this, and this is just from what I've observed. It seems as though these women are, like I said earlier, they are trying the very best they can to be as submissive to the relationship dynamics that they have with their men. They are trying to learn from him and be the best version of a submissive wife, and I appreciate that for them. With that being said, I want to kind of highlight a little bit of the dynamics that I'm observing from her too. I don't know her personally, so it's just an observation. I believe in her relationships, she is more of a cooperative relationship partner. She's more of a cooperative in terms of, if I get my back scratched, you get your back scratched. If I get what I want, you get what you want. I believe that Viola is of the mentality that women or men are more on the same playing field. I do not believe that she believes that women are below men, while the women that she's reviewing may believe that women are supposed to be below men and men are supposed to be above them. So yes, the belief itself is a different dynamics in terms of what's being done versus what's believed in. What's being done when it comes to these young women is a cooperative relationship. They believe in being submissive to men, but they have a cooperative relationship with their men because they themselves will not be posting videos about how great their life is as a TRAD wife if they are not necessarily feeling as though they're gaining the things that they want from the man. If the man wasn't working, if the man wasn't quote unquote leading, as they would say, if they don't believe the man is doing a lot of the roles that they see as dominant, then they would not be cooperating with him as much. And while Viola, I believe, although she's criticizing these women's age in terms of becoming quote unquote TRAD wives, I believe that her and those women are more of a similar mindset, even though their ages apart. Now, in terms of the women getting married so young, I don't really have any commentary on that. But I will say if a woman is marrying young, it's typically because she's trying to fulfill a certain belief system that was programmed into her mind versus if she was to marry older. So the marriage component of these young women getting married is more because of what they believe they should be doing versus what should be done. In terms of the age range to get married, I might say a woman, it might be best for her to marry between the age of 22 and 30. Anything within that range is a decision that she's willingly making. But if she's married at 18, 19, it seems as though those women with that mindset are trying to fast track the lifestyle that they really want and the lifestyle that they think they need. I'm going to probably watch one more section of this, and then I'll wrap it up after this.
I sound trivial, but follow me for just a second. Let's say your favorite food is mac and cheese. I know that's one of my favorite foods. Smoked Gouda and cheddar mac and cheese. I mean, my mouth is watering just or traveling or community organizing or literally anything else. Any of the thousands of ways that you can construct your life when you move directly from your parents' authority to your husband's authority. How do you even know what you like? A preference requires experience. It requires comparison. If you make a decision without having experienced meaningful alternatives, that is a lot closer to social conditioning than freedom. And no, the point of being young doesn't mean that everyone has to party and drink and be debaucherous. You don't absolutely have to participate in a hollow version of consumerist culture. The value of your adult years, though, is the margin for experimentation in your early adult years in particular. You're allowed to be wrong about yourself without having to absorb life-changing consequences.
All right, so this is where I'm going to wrap it up. So I do like the fact that she mentioned social conditioning, social dynamics between society, and also group dynamics where you're partying with your friends as a young individual. She's mentioning that you are allowed to. She's mentioning that this is something that you kind of should expect yourself to do. Although she believes that this is a thing that you should do or you should be allowed to do, I think that what she's not really considering is the way these women were programmed. Their social conditioning or programming may have been of the sort of, hey, I should go up to get married. I should have a husband. I should be a housewife. Their social conditioning, I believe, is probably totally different than your social conditioning, Mrs. Viola, right? I believe that this women's social conditioning is different than this individual's social conditioning. So that's why they're going in the route that they're going, because they've been socially conditioned to be married. While our commentary lady, Mrs. Viola, social conditioning is different. That's why she ended up doing what she did, experimenting, partying, and all those other things that she say we should all be doing. To wrap up everything, I was going to say, based on my observation, like I said earlier, I believe that the young women are more in a cooperative relationship, and as time goes on, are going to become more domineering within that relationship, because they are doing things in a way where, as long as they're getting what they want, they don't really, want to interfere with what the man wants, right? And they're submissive based on the social conditioning that they have from a young age. So I would say the power dynamics play within the young women in the videos that she's reacting to are more of the society dominating those women's minds versus the man that they are married to. I would say for Viola, she's conditioned to have a more cooperative relationship with men than to have a relationship with men where she's dominating over them. I believe if Mrs. Viola was in a relationship with a man, I believe in that relationship, she's more likely to love him more and support him more if he's also supportive of her and they have a mutual arrangement. But that's it for that breakdown. If you like this type of content, if you like my take on things, if you like me breaking down power dynamics, group dynamics, social dynamics, all those different things, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Leave your comments in this comment section below. Let me know how you feel about the video, my breakdown, my comments, all those different things, and also anything that you feel applies to you and your relationships, and also your group dynamics, and also things that you've noticed in society that's affecting a lot of people. But I just wanted to kind of give my breakdown on that video. The rest of the video, the link is in the description. You can watch the rest of her commentary. I believe she's a very good content creator. I like her breakdown and her point of views. But yeah, that's it for that. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Have a good day.